Coming up on the Greg and Tim Show podcast.
This is why they call it the Mandela Effect. It's like we're in a weird time travel experiment that the government does to us. But some people just don't stick around more than 5 minutes, so we figured we'll show them
and some
what
people
you didn't know about
just
Tim.
don't care. He was giving us fits in the first half,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden someone went up to spy the quarterback. We're misremembering events because that's what our brain does, or we're in the multiverse because that's more fun and exciting.
Get your earballs ready, and welcome back to the Greg and Tim Show podcast. Here are your hosts, Greg and Tim.
Hey, welcome back to the Greg and Tim Show, the only place where time travel, alternate realities, and discovering Tim's quirks collide in the most entertaining way possible. I'm your host, Greg, and here is the man with the plan. And speaking of plans, we're diving into the wide world of daylight savings time and the Mandela Effect today. The man of the hour, the time bandit himself, the one, the only, Timothy.
Oh, that was quite the intro.
Hey, working on it.
Hey, Greg, you know what? I've been thinking this week, if I was a superhero,
Yeah.
I think my name would be Time Lord Tim. It has a nice ring to it.
If you were a superhero, you'd be the one showing up late for battles.
Hey.
But hey, that's why we love you, buddy. So Tim, this week, we are going to discuss the topic of daylight savings time.
Yep.
And it's that time of the year again where we mess with our clocks and pretend we can control time.
You know what, Greg? I've always found daylight savings time to be a little odd, a little confusing. Like, why do we go back and then we go forward 2 times a year? Just keep it the same.
Yeah.
What's the point?
I don't know. It's like we're in a weird time travel experiment that the government does to us. But it gives us more daylight, I guess. It gives us more time to spend goofy time with you.
That is true.
And speaking of goofy, we also dive into the Mandela Effect. And are you ready to explore the strange phenomenon where people collectively misremember things?
Absolutely. I can't wait to see if I've ever fallen victim to the Mandela Effect.
Do you know what the Mandela Effect is?
I do. You explained it to me once, which means I need it explained again.
Buckle up, Tim. We're going to go on a ride through parallel universes and altered memories.
We're going on a ride.
But first, it's time for our fan favorite segment, What You Don't Know About Tim.
Time for the segment. Something you don't know about Tim. Do go on. Tell us more.
Oh, we're doing that already? We just finished the intro.
Well,
We're going to go right into something you don't know about me?
Some people just don't stick around more than 5 minutes, so we figured we'll show them
and some
what
people
you didn't know about
just
Tim.
don't care.
Some people don't care about Tim. Hey, we do have the entire show time-stamped, so if you want to watch the show and skip over the Tim parts, you can just click on this timestamp.
Or the Greg parts. Because let's be honest, the Tim parts are pretty. They're the funny parts.
They're the parts that everybody laughs at. You ready to get the show going?
Grab your favorite beverages. Cheers to another great episode, Greg. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Grab your phone. It's podcast time. It's the Greg and Tim Show. It's the Greg and Tim Show.
Did you notice?
What? No.
We both have Grey cups.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't notice? No? They're Grey Cup champion 2021 and 2019.
Some things I notice all the time. Sometimes I don't notice things at all.
Yeah.
Like I notice when someone's got a haircut. That's my superpower, by the way. If anyone has a haircut, I notice. I like, you have a new haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my superpower. Time Lord Tim. And
Time Lord Tim?
His famous power is recognizing new haircuts.
Well, it's because you can turn back time. You can see what the hair looked like before.
Right.
And after.
Yeah. And then, I only say it to guys because, so people think it's weird if I talk to
a girl about their hair.
My wife went up to someone when we were in Minneapolis and she's like, oh, your dress is so lovely, and whatever. It's like, okay, it's good. It'd be funny if I said it. Isn't anyone watching it? Like, you look so lovely.
You are a lovely, lovely person.
I can't do the same thing.
So speaking of the Blue Bombers, the Blue Bombers are in the West Final this weekend. Are you going to the game?
I'm out of town. I'm again in Minneapolis. This is I'm going to go see Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks at US Bank on Friday.
Yeah.
So we're with our family. Our 2 kids, Raina's gone, so she can't come, but our 2 youngest kids, and we're going to Minneapolis. And Avery and I set this date up to go see Billy Joel because he's on her bucket list, and she's only 17, but she actually knows who Billy Joel is. It's funny you say some of these iconic artists to some of these people under 20, and they have
no clue.
We went to when he was at River Valley Church on Saturday night. We said it to the youth leader. I think he must be in his early to mid 20s, and we're like, "Well, what are you in for next weekend?" And he's like, "Well, Billy Joel concert." He had no idea who it was. And but
Avery knows who
my
he is.
17-year-old knows who Billy Joel is, the piano man, and he's one that how many more years can he tour? Right?
Where is he playing?
U.S. Bank, where the Vikings.
Oh wow!
So I'm going to go to the Billy.
Is that sold out?
I don't know, but I'm sure if it's not sold out, it's pretty close.
That's a big venue.
Yeah, and they've had a few concerts there. Ed Sheeran was there. Obviously, Taylor Swift was there. Taylor Swift sells everything out times whatever in 7 minutes.
Who's Taylor Swift?
Yeah, exactly. Ed Sheeran, actually, they're doing promos to get that thing sold out. And Ed Sheeran's a big name. So we'll see. I haven't taken a look. We bought our tickets a couple months ago.
Okay.
I want to say 3 months ago. So we're going Friday night, the two of us. And then Sunday night or Sunday, I'm going to the Vikings game. The Saints are playing in Minnesota. So I'm not in town. Game is, what is it, Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday, 5:30.
So the Bombers are playing BC, and that's going to be a great game. It's always a good time.
Should be fun. The Bombers, right now, they're technically the favorite.
Yeah.
But BC was scary in their game against Calgary. So
BC, you know what?
They're up and down.
BC is so funny, and their record would show they're not up, they're more up than down.
Yeah.
BC is crazy because they can look like last week where they're just they're rolling their quarterback. Sorry, I'm blanking here.
Vernon Adams.
Vernon Adams, who I love. He's a great can be a great quarterback. And then the week before,
would you call him a couple weeks ago Vernon Wells?
I don't think I did.
I think you said Wells looks really good tonight, and I'm like,
that was one of our other friends. I did not mispronounce it, and I made lots of mistakes last week. I admit the first 3 minutes I counted with 32. But Vernon Adams,
last week's episode right above your head there. If they want to click on it to listen to you make mistakes,
beep, beep, beep. I recognize 32 mistakes in the first 3 minutes. Anyway, so Vernon Adams last week looked fantastic.
Yeah,
but the week before that, they got killed by Calgary. You never know what you're going to get. He's like a box of chocolates, right? You never know what you're going to get. Anyway,
hey, that's a Mandela effect.
It could be.
Do you know that?
What?
I'm going to tell you in a little bit. You got to stay tuned for that because the life is like a box of chocolates is a Mandela effect, and I'm going to tell you all about why and see what you think.
I think that's going to be an interesting conversation. But back to the BC and the Bombers. You know what's funny is that whenever the Bombers can have issues with mobile quarterbacks who get out of the pocket.
Yeah.
And I remember this is a case against Toronto when they came here and their third stringer was here. And off the top of my head, I can't remember who his name was. He was giving us fits in the first half.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, someone went out to spy the quarterback where his only job was to go and make sure that quarterback wasn't able to run.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts. Like, if that's all it took, why didn't you have somebody spy the quarterback from the first play of the game?
So it's halftime adjustments. Halftime adjustments are huge. Like in football, there's a reason that there's a break in the half.
Right.
Because the quarterbacks and everybody gets together and they speak about what's going on, what they're seeing, and what they're seeing in a slower amount of space.
Right.
So that they can figure out what they're doing to make it different. Everybody can make halftime adjustments. Now, the team that makes the best halftime adjustments, remember that game? New England who were they losing to? Was it Atlanta?
Oh, it was Atlanta. 35-3 or something.
Right?
Like that, yeah.
And Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, obviously two of the best minds in football, went into the half, made the adjustments, and came out a totally different team and came back. And spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Super Bowl, whatever that is, like Tom Brady comes back and wins.
Yeah.
Like it's a big thing in football. So like in hockey, you have periods.
Yeah.
Making adjustments for hockey is different, right? Because you don't have a one player that's like your quarterback. You don't have one player that's your defensive specialist.
Yeah.
You have a team, whereas football is very much like a...
So you talk about the NFL, and that's a good comparable. Like you have these smaller mobile quarterbacks, who
Nathan Rourke, he's playing in the NFL right now.
Yeah, even guys like Kyler Murray, who's just coming back from injury, where they have a lot of success early on in the year.
Yeah,
and these aren't even halftime adjustments; they're mid-season adjustments. And defenses all of a sudden limit these players because they basically load the box. They don't allow the quarterbacks to run, and they say you need to be able to pass to beat us.
Yeah.
And these quarterbacks don't either have the accuracy of arm
strength of arm
to find, or even some of the shorter quarterbacks to see over the taller defensive players to make completions enough to win games without their legs or their use of running. And that's what I find happens in both leagues. So the only difference is in the CFL, those quarterbacks have a bit of an advantage in that the field is larger. They have more space to run, and it's, I would assume, and you don't quote me on this, and of course there's one less down.
Yeah.
It's more difficult for defenses to make those adjustments because of those factors, right?
Maybe for the mobile quarterbacks in the CFL, I can see that happening. Yeah, and what happens is the mid-season, you got a book on these guys, right? Like Kyler Murray, when he came in, nobody had a book on him, and now you have a book on him. What it brings me to think about Davis Schneider of the Blue Jays. Yeah. He comes in, he's hitting 585 with 3 home runs against Boston in a hitter-friendly park. Nobody knows his tendencies, where they can get him out. Yeah. And then look at what happened during the second half of his time. Right. He's batting like 184. And
by the way, great mustache. Can we throw a picture of him?
Yeah, let's throw a picture of Davis Schneider. He's a throwback. I
love a good mustache.
He's a throwback, that's for sure.
Going back to the NFL talk, did you watch the game, the Minnesota game, where they came back to beat Atlanta? The Vikings. Did you watch
like this week? You mean
this last weekend? Yeah. So
it was a good game. Dobbs did amazing.
So backtrack. Our Kirk Cousins, who was injured for the full year now, he's out the week before, and then they had their backup Hall, who came in, and he had concussion issues. So all of a sudden, Josh Dobbs, who had 3 practices under his belt for the Minnesota Vikings,
because he just got traded for.
Yeah, he just got traded for him from Arizona, and he came and he said literally he didn't know everybody's names. He'd be like, "Hey, you, I'm gonna throw you the ball. Turn around when I give it to you." Right, and literally, they said the coach from Minnesota said they ran really quickly to the line of scrimmage, so he had more time to talk to him in his headphones. Or in his helmet, right? Yeah. And apparently, you have till the 15-second mark to talk to your quarterback.
Oh, like in the time.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, okay.
But they rushed to the line of scrimmage, so he had more time to talk to him. So he'd be like, "You're gonna throw to that dot over there, or if nothing's happening, you gotta run."
So that brings me to the same thing, though. Yeah. How much of that success was because the other team didn't know?
And that's what I said too. Like now a defense is going to have a week, and I'm going to be there. So we'll see the Saints defense dials up for him.
Oh, you're going to the Saints game?
Yeah, I'm going to the Saints game on noon on Sunday, and but vice versa.
Are you going to skull?
Skull Vikings, skull, of course. But it's twofold, right? He has a week to get familiar with his. He will know some names.
I like your version better of that song.
Rocket Robin Hood and the Robins marching together.
And you're going to go to our favorite breakfast place that we still haven't spoken about.
Al's Breakfast. Okay. So Al,
are you going to tell people about it now?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Al's Breakfast in...
shout out to...
Henrik. He's one of the workers, and he's not the owner, or he's not the main guy.
No, but he's funny.
He's funny. Let's throw a picture of him up here. We have a couple of pictures. He has some crazy hair. He's funny. It's like if you ever go to a restaurant, you ever go to those restaurants where they're rude, but it's kind of the shtick of it. But it's not even that. It's not even that, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like they'll give it to you, and they'll sing songs behind the as they're making the eggs, and they'll have we talked about Samers versus Samesies. We had an argument about what Samesies or Samers, and apparently in the U.S. it's Samesies, and apparently in Canada it's Samers. But we were.
Hey, so if you're listening from the U.S., tell us if it's Samesies or Samers.
Yeah. When you agree with someone, you say, "Hey."
And if you're Canadian, Samesies or Samers. Hey, so like when we're wearing the same shirt, we're like, "Hey, Samers." Yeah. And in the U.S., they say samesies. So
Al's Breakfast is by the University of Minnesota in the area. It's called Dinkytown is actually the name of the area. Yeah. There's 14 seats in the entire place. It's an
old school diner.
My friend Jonathan number of years ago had said to go check it out.
Yeah.
And I did literally like 14 seats. It's like literally like this, the size of this studio, maybe double the studio.
Yeah.
And everyone's great there, and they make you great food.
The funny thing is, like, if you have 3 people,
yeah,
and they have a seat here and 2 seats there, they'll actually get the guys to slide over so that you can get your 3 people together. Like, they just move people around and stuff like that.
So
I think it's
it was
fun.
actually on Diners, Dives, and whatever the
Drive-ins,
Guy
Fieri
show. So you want to check out YouTube that.
I don't like Guy Fieri.
You don't?
I don't know.
I don't really know enough.
He doesn't really rub me the right way.
No, it's like me and Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I admit it. I'm totally ignorant. He's probably the nicest guy in the world.
I've watched some of him and his brother's podcasts. They're actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were talking, the last one, I just saw one where they're talking about his brother at the birth of his child. And Jason Kelsey's wife posted a video of a short or a reel or something of like Jason doing nothing for like all the hours, doing like he's peeling a bagel or he's like sleeping or he's just sitting on the couch watching something. And he made a pretty good point. It's like, it's my 3rd kid. I know what's happening.
So our first,
and she defended him after the fact.
When Raina was born, my wife,
my first child,
and it was like, oh, it's happening. Oh no, it's not. And oh, it's happening. No, it's not. And this must have happened like 50 times.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, whatever. And like the 20th time, it's like, well, wake me up when it's really happening. A friend of mine, he went.
You didn't even show up at Avery's birth.
Who? No. A friend of mine was at the hospital, and all of a sudden he's ordering a pizza, and his wife is like, well, "I'm going into labor," and then the doctor's like, "No, yeah, you can order the pizza. It's fine."
He's got lots of time. Yeah. I had a lot of complaints during Cruz's birth. Lorraine doesn't like me complaining. My feet hurt.
I've heard you complain. I heard you complain on an hour and a half hike.
That wasn't
this
me.
Is long. Is it over yet? It was like there was no up and down. It was just like, this is a walk.
That's because it was boring.
Okay, thanks a lot. The company you're with is boring.
No, the company wasn't bad, but the scenery was flat nice. It was just.
Yeah, but then you enjoy the talk, you enjoy the camaraderie, the exercise.
It got cold and I was hungry. And when I get hungry, the one thing I haven't really told people is when I get hungry, and Lorraine will be the first to admit this, feed me.
Right.
Because it doesn't get better.
So the term, okay, and you know what?
I don't get hangry.
Yeah.
I'm not angry.
Yeah.
I'm just frustrated. Like annoyed.
Number one.
Like I need to eat.
I bet you if I asked your wife, it's all in the interpretation, and she would say you actually get hangry. But to you, it's frustrating. I know someone too that does get hangry, whether you do or not. Right?
Yeah.
But it's funny that.
You haven't really seen me get hangry.
No, because I'm always making sure you're eating. You're always eating, though. I never see you when you're not eating. Yankees game. How can I have this 12 chicken fingers and 14 pounds of fries?
Hey, and it came with a cup, and the lid was the chicken fingers and fries. It was beautiful.
Do we have a picture of that?
Of course we do.
Okay,
let's put it up.
Let's throw it up there.
It was great. It was chicken fingers in a bowl with fries, as you can see.
Healthy dietary choice.
And
it just digested last week, I believe.
If you think about it,
last week
we drove all the way from Montreal to the game, and all we stopped at was Jimmy John's.
Right. So it would have been a smart idea to eat all that and sit in the car for 7 hours.
And then on the way back, that was my dinner on the way before I went home. So
we didn't stop anywhere after that.
We didn't on the way home. No, it was nighttime.
Oh, we stopped at a couple of gas stations.
Yeah, but it's not the same as getting chicken fingers at the Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
Anyway, Tim, let's talk about something else that's near and dear to our. Why do we say that? It's not.
I don't say
it's not
that.
Near and dear to anybody's heart.
You say
this is like the least.
Oh right, we still haven't got to my segment. I totally forgot about
Oh no, we're gonna record that later.
Okay.
We might not even have it.
I remember
we might just have it, and then nobody gets to see it.
I remember last week when I'm laughing. I didn't remember what it was all about. I couldn't stop laughing. I still have it in my brain.
It was Adam's pants.
I didn't even want to say what it was.
We did cut out
I can't.
A minute and a half of you talking about Adam's pants.
No, I wasn't talking about it. I was still laughing about it.
No, you talked about it. I sent Adam the director's cut, and he was like, "You guys cut all that out. I'd like to know what else you cut out of that show."
It's still funny.
Uh,
Okay, tell me what's
okay.
near and dear to our hearts. I'm very interested. Near and dear. Here and there.
Daylight times savings thing.
Time saving.
What is it called? I'm having a big old aneurysm right now.
Daylight savings time.
Daylight savings time. Let's talk about daylight. Let me just. This isn't going to be a long segment because I think that we both have the same opinion of this. Daylight savings time. Yay or nay?
Okay, first of all, I got a full extra hour on my vacation this weekend
Because we fell back. That's right.
and I got an extra hour. It was like golden. It's like I can sleep. You know that one extra hour of sleep.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
I'm still waking up at like 5:45 in the morning now, though.
Yeah, and I didn't even use it to go for a run
Because of daylight savings time.
Yeah.
So, are you for daylight savings time?
I'm like many things. I am neither here. I'm indifferent to it. I don't care.
Okay, so you don't care whether we do the spring forward,
No.
fall back. Like it doesn't bother you, doesn't affect you, doesn't change your sleep habits
Nope.
or anything like that.
No.
When your kids were younger, did it affect you?
My wife will probably correct me, but I don't remember that it did.
Okay.
Like I say, she probably has better understanding. It's so long ago when they were
Yeah.
young.
So, like,
It seems like ages ago. My kids were
it
young.
hasn't affected my kids,
Right.
which is great.
Yeah.
But I know some people that post on Facebook are like, daylight savings time. My kids are up now at 4 a.m.
Right.
Right? Because, it used to be 7 a.m. Now they're getting up at 6. And like me personally, I'm waking up an hour earlier because I'm not used to it yet. The other thing that bothers me is that when we fall back, we actually lose an hour of light in the evening,
Right.
which I would prefer to have an extra hour of light in the evening. I would prefer to come home when it's light out than to go to work when it's light out.
So I'm going to give you an unpopular opinion
Okay.
because I am strange.
Yeah.
In that I like dark. I love rain.
Yeah.
I like dark. I don't love sun. It bothers my eyes. No,
You're a vampire. Basically, you're describing a
maybe.
vampire.
Like when it rains, it's like a big blanket of God's putting over top of you, and it's like, oh, that's so sweet. And then other people are like, I know people that literally have seasonal disorders.
Yeah, SAD. It's called SAD.
They're
Seasonal
sad.
effectiveness disorder.
Yeah, sorry, that's the exact term.
Yeah.
And when it gets dark for too many days in a row, they actually get sad, like
Yeah.
literally depressed. I like the dark.
Yeah.
I mean, that's strange. I know I'm strange in many ways. That I'm
Productive.
counterintuitive to what a lot of people believe.
Yeah.
Same thing with last week on vacations. Like, it's literally, who does that stuff? Nobody but me.
Yeah.
Right? I'm weird.
I like to keep the habits though too.
I admit it. I'm different.
You are a different beast.
Yeah. And I
By beast I mean like small rodent animal.
I've been doing
not very much.
I've been doing my hey.
Well, you're getting there.
I've been doing 50 push-ups a day for like 3
Well, now it's been
3 months, right?
Well, it's been 10 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because I started over the first week. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to clock that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 weeks of
Didn't even think of it that
push-ups.
way.
So, if I was to be in charge of the world right now, if I was World Clock Greg, Time Lord Tim, perhaps, I would make it so that daylight savings time was all the time.
Right.
So when we spring forward in the spring this spring, I would never change the clocks again.
Right.
Because I want the light at night.
Yeah.
Because my kids can play outside after school. They're not playing outside before school for the most part.
Yeah.
And really, when you look at it, you want to do things at night, you want it to be lighter out. When you're driving home, you want it to be light out. Like, it is very much a mindset when you have brightness and when you have sunlight.
Yeah.
It releases this emotion in most people, not you,
Yeah.
but that makes them feel better.
Yeah.
right? Like that's why people go on warm vacations.
That's like vitamin D or whatever, right?
Vitamin D and vitamin C, vitamin eyeball. I don't know.
Vitamin eyeball. Thanks. Thanks, Dr. Greg. Do we know why? Like, is there an explanation on this? Like, I've never actually, because I don't, neither here nor there about it. I didn't actually look into why is this happening. Is there an actual explanation of why somebody that this is happening?
Yes, there is.
What's that?
Well, do you want me to look it up?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a moment.
Okay.
We'll return after these messages.
Are you tired of boring phone cases that can't handle a little adventure? Do you want to protect your screen from scratches, cracks, and arrows?
Arrows.
Do you need a reliable way to charge your phone on the go?
Well, I guess if you answered yes to any of these three questions, then you need the Blu Element. Blu Element Cases is the ultimate brand for your cell phone accessories that are tough, stylish, and fun. Whether you need a case that can survive a drone drop, as you saw before, a screen protector that can deflect an arrow, which they also can do, or a wireless charger that can power up your phone in minutes. Blu Element has it all.
And you can trust Blu Element to keep your phone safe and ready for anything. Plus, they come in a variety of colors and designs to suit your personality. So don't settle for less. Get Blu Element today and unleash your inner adventurer.
Blu Element. The phone accessories that make you crack a smile and not your screen.
You can get 15% off with the link in the description or go to blueelement.com and use the code GREG&TIM.
GREG&TIM.
GREG&TIM. 50% off. 50% off.
15.
15, yeah.
You're saying it. You're saying it very fast. You're saying
15.
it sounded like 50. You're saying it very fast.
15.
15. GREG&TIM. BlueElement.com. BlueElement.com.
.com.
Now back to the show.
Okay, Tim, I grabbed the iPad here after we took a short break. Anyway, so this is what it is. And I have information on this in my brain, but not particular to this, so I want to be accurate.
Right.
Circadian rhythm is a 24-hour internal clock that coordinates a wide range of processes in the body, including sleep. The rhythm is controlled by a small part of the brain known as the circadian pacemaker that is powerfully influenced by light exposure. Now, when light enters the eye, it is sensed by a special group of cells on the retina, which is carried to the brain and interpreted as information about the time of day. The brain then sends the signals throughout the body to control the organs and other systems in accordance with the time of day. Essentially, what it means is that when it's bright out, your brain is awake, your body is awake, and your body is told that it should start to move.
Right.
Right? When it's dark out, your body tends to shut down.
So the time where it's darker is in fronted to the morning? Is that the idea, or what is that?
So
Because obviously you're taking from one and the other. It remains the same amount of time of light. Right?
No. So, well, because of where we live in the world,
yeah,
there's less light in the winter in general.
Right.
So our circadian rhythms are out of whack just in general because there's less light. Places like way up north where they get no light for 24 hours sometimes. But here, what happens is we fall back so that they can give you more light in the morning and less light in the evening.
Right.
My argument is that I would like more light in the evening because that's when my kids want to play. That's when we're awake. That's when we're doing things.
Right.
Versus,
just getting ready in the
morning.
Breakfast, getting your clothes on.
You're not outside. Yeah. That type of thing, right? So I'm a big believer that daylight savings, when it happens in the spring, should just stay.
Right.
Because we get a longer evening. Now, it's tough in the summer. You can almost argue the opposite in the summer because the kids won't go to bed.
Right. You
almost want to fall back in the summer so that it gets dark at 8 instead of 9.
Right. But if you're doing outdoor events, like you're playing baseball, you kind of want, you want to have more time to finish your game, stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So you can argue it both ways. In general, though, I would rather have sunlight when I'm awake as opposed to in the morning.
Right.
Again, where we live, we don't really get affected by it in the morning because it's still dark when you get up at 8 in the morning here.
Yeah. And then it gets dark again at like 4:30. In the middle of
it's dark outside.
Yeah.
as we
And
look outside.
I think sunset in Manitoba, where we live, is 5:30 right now, as of a couple of days ago. And it by the time
I think it's much. I think it's much earlier.
I know it's 5:30. I think you can double check.
What is sunset time in Manitoba?
See how close I am.
4:54.
Oh, it's 4:54. Wow.
Yeah.
So that'll
And you have to think about it.
right, yeah,
A week ago, it was 5:54.
So that'll be 4:30 by the middle of December in a month or so.
And then the longest day is December 21st, and then the days get shorter.
Well, shortest.
No, shortest day, December 21st.
I always say
and then the
that
days
too.
get longer. So anyway, that's what the benefit of the light does. And that's why I honestly think that it should be the other way.
So what I've learned from this segment
Yeah.
is that we should make you the ruler of the world.
Of the time.
Of the time.
Yeah.
Is there any way to do that?
Well, I've been watching Loki,
Yeah.
and there's like a guy that's in charge of time and
Right.
stuff there.
Could we have him on
He
the
Who
podcast?
Remains, I think.
And then
I don't think so. He's
No.
He's got a checkered past.
Okay.
He's twisted things a little bit.
Okay.
Which actually brings us to our next segment. The Mandela Effect.
Okay, hooray. It's time for the topic of the day.
So the topic of the day today, Tim, is the Mandela Effect. And I know that you don't know a ton about the Mandela Effect.
I know enough that if you prompted me with a question,
enough.
with a question, that I would fully understand it.
I'm gonna literally just pause it there. I know enough. Cut it right there.
That'll be one short, eh? Just like 3 seconds.
I know enough. Grumpy Tim. So let me set the stage for what the Mandela Effect is.
Yeah.
Just to open up your brain and close your eyes and think about this.
How about yoga again?
The Mandela Effect is a phenomenon that has left scientists, conspiracy theorists, and curious minds alike scratching their heads. It's a peculiar observation that a significant portion of the population remembers events that never happened or are remembered incorrectly. Our story begins with Fiona Brome, a paranormal researcher who unwittingly became a pioneer in the field of collective false memories. It started in 2010 at a conference where she discovered something truly baffling. A startling number of attendees shared her vivid memory of Nelson Mandela, the former president of South Africa, dying in prison during the 1980s. The catch? Mandela was released from prison in 1990, and he's very much alive at the time of that conference. This is why they call it the Mandela Effect. But the Mandela Effect isn't confined to mere memory glitches. It goes beyond that, venturing into the realm of alternate realities. Enthusiasts of quantum theory suggest that this phenomenon offers compelling evidence for the existence of the multiverse, which, I was watching Loki and it's all about the multiverse. I feel like every movie, every superhero thing going on right now is all about the multiverse, and it's driving me nuts. But anyways, I digress. The theory posits that within each universe, a parallel realities and alternate versions of events and objects coexist, occasionally crossing paths with our own timeline. It's mind-boggling concept that raises profound questions about the very nature of reality, yet not everyone is sold on the multiverse theory. In the world of psychology, the Mandela Effect is sometimes compared to déjà vu, with the explanation lying in the human capacity for confabulation. Confabulated memories are unintended distortions that can be as vivid as real events, often associated with the brain's frontal lobes, and they're not intended to deceive. But there's more to the story.
Go on.
Some believe the Mandela Effect is connected to conspiracies involving Large Hadron Collider, LHC, and the rupture of the space-time continuum. Others speculate that it ties to Others speculate that it's tied to flat Earth theories, while some simply think it's a byproduct of our minds playing tricks on us. So whether it's parallel universes, brain confabulation, conspiracies, or simple mind games, the Mandela Effect continues to perplex and intrigue.
Okay, so before we talk about this anymore, give me the questions you gave me in the summer to kind of explain what examples of
that's what I got next for you here.
Okay.
So peanut butter. Is it Jiff or Jiffy? Is it Jiffy or JIF?
GIF, I think, without the FY at the end. Am I right?
You're correct.
Okay.
But is that how you remember it?
Give a couple more things, and I don't want to give my opinion yet.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Is it TUNES or TOONS?
TUN.
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay. 2 for 2.
Berenstein Bears. How do you spell Berenstein?
BERN. No, sorry. BERENSTEIN.
Wrong.
Okay.
It's AIN. It's Berenstain Bears.
Berenstain. Okay. Not the Berenstein family.
Did Curious George have a tail? The monkey?
I know Curious George. I'm trying to remember if he had a tail.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Ah, okay.
He didn't.
I wanted to say no, but then I said yes.
And Febreze. Is it spelled? How do you spell Febreze?
FEBREEZE.
No, it's EZE.
EZE. Okay.
Only one E. Oscar Mayer.
MEYERS.
MAYER.
Okay.
Mayer. It's Oscar Mayer.
Oscar Mayer.
We'll give you one more.
Like
Fruit
Mayer
Loops.
Lansky. Well, what about the movie?
We're going to do the movie in a second.
Started, you can do this.
Yeah.
Okay. We're on products now.
Fruit Loops.
Okay. FROOP.
P?
Fruit.
Fruit Loops?
FRROOT.
Yeah, it's spelled with fruit, like FROOT,
Yeah.
Fruit Loops.
Okay.
So this all stems from a movie. I think the biggest one is the movie.
Okay.
And the movie was called Shazam
Right.
with Sinbad.
Okay. And you asked me, do you remember the movie called Shazam with Sinbad? And
Yeah.
I was like, I think so. Sure. It's like, he's never been in a movie called Shazam, you dummy. You just remembered incorrectly, right?
Yeah. So there's people that are like trying to find a physical copy of this movie.
Yeah.
Sinbad has come out and said, I've never been in this movie.
Yeah.
I vividly remember watching Shazam, and everyone's like, no, you're talking about Kazam.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I've never seen Shaq play a genie before.
Right.
I have seen Sinbad play a genie before in Shazam.
Right.
And here's the funny part. He has gone so far to actually make a trailer for this movie to make fun of the people that remember the movie.
Right.
I'm going to introduce myself. I am Shazam! I'm the genie of the lamp.
Because he doesn't have a career anymore.
But like the funny thing is like I remember this stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember.
This is the part that drives me nuts. It's like, because I think one of the things that was referenced is it's just your brain is so faulty sometimes. The things we remember incorrectly all the time.
Does the Monopoly man have a monocle?
First of all, what's a monocle?
The one eyeglass.
I don't remember. But we want to guess. We want to fill in the blank. I think when you're...
Okay, so did he have a monocle?
No. Well, no. So what's this one on the left?
The ones with the monocle.
Yeah.
And ones without.
No, he didn't.
He didn't have a monocle?
I don't know. I'm guessing.
He doesn't have one.
Okay.
But they might be mistaking him with Planter's Peanut, who had a monocle.
Okay, so I don't know much about psychology.
Yeah.
But typically, when your brain tries to fill in blanks when it doesn't know.
Yeah.
And it sometimes fills them incorrectly. That's just typically that's what happens. But now it drives me nuts when we take something like that and we just go into the multiverse all of a sudden. We take this little shred
so
of misinformation or your brain filling in incorrectly, and we go to all of a sudden,
but it's not
Great Scott and Doc Brown is sending us into the future and past.
It's not a shred of misinformation though. Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah.
Do you remember the cornucopia that used to be behind it?
No. I'm very unfamiliar with any of the Fruit of the Loom branding.
Okay. This is really hard for somebody to explain to you because you wouldn't remember this stuff. But
again, how does not remembering something correctly lead to any of this?
I guess the main thing is I remember the Sinbad show. I remember the cornucopia on Fruit of the Loom. I remember the monocle on the guy from Monopoly.
Right.
I remember Febreze spelt EEZE.
Right.
Now, the theory behind all of this
Yeah.
is that there was that collider, and when it went off, the two worlds actually went together.
Say that again.
This is where we're going to get really scientific,
Right.
because I have a very scientific brain.
Right.
There's 5 of me here.
Yeah.
Or there's 5 people here,
Yeah.
which include me, you, Dave, Matthew, and Ryan.
Okay.
There's me, you, Dave, Matthew, Ryan.
Yeah.
We're running on the same plane,
Right.
but we're in 2 different worlds.
Yeah.
What happened was these worlds went together, and some of me, and then you, and then Dave, and then Ryan, and then Matthew, one of those people became that person.
Right.
So what it's basically saying is that for a while there was 2 of you running on one time plane.
So that's one.
And then they squished the time plane together, and now there can't be 2 of you in the world. So
that's one explanation of why you remember something that didn't actually exist.
yes, because you've actually taken over the time frame
Yeah.
of somebody else.
To me, that is the most illogical explanation of that situation. It is not the most logical explanation.
Now think about it though. So my person
Yeah.
went through the world,
Yeah.
saw Shazam,
No,
saw
no,
the
I-
monocle,
I-
saw the cornucopia,
I get your
and
explanation.
then I got merged with
Yeah.
the other person.
Right.
But my brain went into that person's
Yeah.
body.
I completely understand what you're saying in your explanation. I just think it's wonky and don't believe it at all.
Is there a time frame of your life that you don't remember?
I don't remember anything till I was 4 or 5 years old.
Yes, obviously.
None.
You know my very first memory? Have I ever told you my very first memory?
No.
My very first memory was of the day my brother was born.
Holy cow.
I was 2.5 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And my parents think this is the weirdest thing that I remember.
Yeah.
But I remember waking up in that house, walking out of my bedroom, walking out of the, like, my room is here. I walked out, looked to the right, living room. My aunt is there folding laundry.
Yeah.
And I said, "Where's mom?" And my aunt said, "Oh, she's going to have your baby brother."
Right.
And, you know,
So
I don't remember my mom being pregnant.
Right.
I don't remember anything about that house prior. I don't remember my brother being a baby.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that stuff.
Right.
I do remember walking out of the room.
Yeah.
And my parents didn't tell me this story over and over again.
Yeah.
This is an actual memory that I can physically remember seeing.
I completely believe.
But I don't remember anything else.
So my wife has memories for when I want to say 1 year old to 2 years old, something like really, really young,
Yeah.
like between 1 and 2. And her mom would be like, "There's no way you can remember that." And she would say, "No, I remember this. I remember how this looked, whatever."
Yeah.
And she's like, she remembers that like clear as day. And like I said, I don't remember a single thing till I was 5. Not one thing.
And I have a really good memory in general.
Yeah.
If you ask Lorraine and you say, you know, like, how's Greg's memory? She'd be like, "Oh, he remembers the weirdest things."
Yeah.
Like, I can remember smell. If I smell something, it'll take me to a memory. If I see something, it'll take me to a memory. If I hear something,
They say that babies, if I'm not mistaken, I could be, but if I'm not mistaken, babies do have the ability to remember just like any other individual of any age. The problem is they don't have the importance to associate between events. So when you can't associate the importance between events and activities, your brain tends to forget them. So they don't have that association. That's why you don't remember typically. And again, my wife, seem to remember these things when they're quite young. Typically, the memories don't exist before a certain age.
Yeah,
that's my understanding.
Yeah, it's strange. Like, there's a lot of things that, like, you asked me, you know, what's the first game you remember going to, and I think you asked me off camera for that. And like, I can remember sitting in my basement watching the 1991 Grey Cup vividly. Yeah. But I was 11 years old.
Even as adults, we forget things that we typically don't put importance of. Like I'll every movie that my wife and I talk about watching, she'd be like, "We've never watched this," and every time I was like, "No, we have," but it's just not.
But then there's a period of my life where I don't remember anything, and it's not when I was a baby.
Right.
Like, there's a small period of my life that I don't want to go into.
Right.
That I literally don't remember.
Right.
Like, it's like there was a lost amount of time there. And I'm wondering if that's when the collider hit.
See, and that's when I go nuts and go like literally the most illogical explanation of a situation is what's happening now. It's like, we could just misremembering events because that's what our brain does, or we're in the multiverse because that's more fun and exciting.
It is. It's more fun and exciting.
I guess everyone.
Do you ever feel that though that like Hollywood is emulating the world?
Just see what you mean by Adam ruins everything.
Yeah, you are ruining it. Not Adam, but it should be called Tim Ruins Everything.
The show. I'm referring to the show.
Why don't we have Tim Ruins Everything in the episode?
Do you remember the show Tim Ruins Everything?
No, it's called Adam Ruins Everything.
Do you remember it? The show called because it was in a multiverse. It was in a different universe, and the show existed, and it was starring a guy named Tim. And it's the only reason I remember that is because I was in a different universe.
Anyway, so I do think that there's something that could explain it, and it could be just that frontal lobe. It could be just your brain putting things into your head. But it's interesting to think about. And you know what? If you cared at all, which you don't care about the Mandela Effect for the most part, I know you don't. But if you cared at all about it,
not true.
And you bring it up at like a gathering of some sort,
yeah,
you could speak about this conversation. Like you can speak about these situations for hours.
So I do think it's bunk. However, it is interesting. I will grant you that. And you spoke about it in the summer. And it is interesting. Whether it's complete phooey, I think it is. But it is interesting. So I get how you would enjoy, talking about it, and even if I am right in this bunk.
But
that's why we do these shows, right? So we can debate back and forth.
The fact that it's called the Mandela Effect, like I wasn't old enough to know what happened to Mandela in the 80s, right?
I'm a bit older, so I do remember that.
So do you remember him dying in jail?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Of course not.
Well, there's some people that do.
There's a whole
which
big,
is super
there's
weird.
a whole big thing when he got freed.
But why do some people think he died?
Because people are dumb.
But why is there a group of people?
Because there's
like it's not like okay, it's a group of people that all like hang out together.
I've never heard of
it's like random
I
people.
have never heard of anybody in my life that thought Nelson Mandela died in prison. Never, not one.
They literally have.
Who are these they? Who's they?
Okay, there is literally an effect called the Mandela Effect.
Yeah, because some lady did a thesis on it.
No, it could be called the Shazam Effect.
Right.
Because in my mind, it's the Shazam Effect.
Right.
In your mind, it's the Mandela Effect. In the world's mind, it's the Mandela. Like it's an interesting thing to talk about. And bringing it up at parties is always fun because people do remember different things differently.
Right.
I think
absolutely.
Yeah.
People remember the brain is crazy how it just remembers. Lots of other examples were, but again, that's faulty. Our brains are faulty.
Faulty Towers.
It fills in information.
Remember Faulty Towers?
Correct. No.
John Cleese.
I know
who John Cleese is.
I remember the cover of the
tongue.
DVD. The tip of the tongue and the teeth of the lips.
It was a TV show. It wasn't a movie.
Well, no, I said I remember.
You're
the
bad
case.
at remembering anything that's funny.
I never said anything.
If I said, do you remember John Gotti's son's reality show?
Which one?
It was called The Gottis, I think, or something. It was a reality show of the kids.
The kids, not just the son. It was more the daughters, wasn't it?
No, I think it was the sons.
Remember Victoria Gotti? I'm big into there's that new show called Get Gotti. And
on Netflix. I got to watch it. It's a 3-part series.
So much stuff in the last 5 years about Gotti. One terrible movie, a bunch of documentaries on whatever.
So
on Netflix.
Earlier, we were going to start out the episode with something you don't know about Tim.
Yeah,
and unfortunately we might be out of time. We were supposed to do it at the beginning.
The whole logic was we're going to do it at the beginning because everyone just tunes out after 5 minutes. We want to make sure people actually learn something about Tim, even though nobody cares, and that's fine with me. But now we get to the end of the show. We don't have any time. It's like the run-on joke about
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon on Jimmy Kimmel. He's always in the back.
Sorry, we ran out of time for Matt Damon.
It was like the running joke, which is hilarious, by the way.
The fight between Matt Damon and Jimmy Kimmel was hilarious.
Remember when
Jimmy Kimmel slept with his wife?
Yeah, well,
no, Matt Damon slept with Jimmy Kimmel's wife.
Remember when Ben Affleck came in and he had like a big overcoat and Matt Damon was in the overcoat?
I like Matt Damon. He's funnier than people give him credit for.
Same thing with Jimmy Kimmel. People don't give Kimmel enough credit.
I think Kimmel used to be funnier.
No, he's good.
When he was on the Man Show, he was funny. Now he's kind of gone a little political,
I guess, but
he's still funny.
Have you been to a late show taping?
No.
I've been to Kimmel, but I've been to Conan. I'm a Conan guy, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
His humor is my humor.
I like Conan as well.
Conan.
I like Conan from TBS. Not TBS. What was he on first?
Oh yeah,
Fox.
Wasn't it TBS? Actually, I think it was TBS.
Was it TBS?
I think so. So I went to Conan.
Yeah.
In California, I want to say 9 years ago, something like that. Again, remembering right.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the people that do all those stunts on TV. All it is like them making each other do all this. What's that show called? Where they make each other do funny things.
Super Dave?
And they put like their earphones in and they tell them, "Oh, you have to go."
Oh yeah.
So, like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so they had the cast of that before they got big, like really at the beginning, and then
Practical Jokers,
yeah, Impractical Jokers,
yeah,
and then they had Matt LeBlanc from Friends was on there, and then a couple other things. So I've been to Conan.
Are you telling me all the people that were on Conan?
On the episode, yeah.
Oh, that you went to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to tell me all the people that were on Conan in general.
No, when I was there. And then I've been to the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. I had to wake up at 3:30 in the morning to go stand in line at NBC Studios because I couldn't get tickets. It's really hard to get tickets. Yeah. And so we waited there for 5 hours between 4:45 and 9 o'clock when they handed the wristbands out.
Yep.
And then we were like sixth and seventh in line. My wife went to go walk and wait outside the line for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we got whatever. So we got in there. And then I've been to the Late Late Show with Seth Meyers, his show. And then I've been to the...
Have you been to Craig Ferguson?
I have not, but I'm not a fan of him, but I've been to...
I like him. He flirts with every guest.
Who's the guy with the glasses?
I don't know how he hasn't been canceled.
Who is the guy with the glasses?
Oh, the guy with the glasses. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I don't.
Anyway,
remember.
so he's in the old Ed Sullivan Theater,
okay.
And he's had
Colbert.
Yeah, Stephen Colbert.
Stephen Colbert.
And then I've been on his show twice.
You've been on his show?
No, sorry, I've been to a taping of his show twice.
Yeah, the Greg and Tim show has not been booked on any of these late night shows yet. So if you guys want to book us,
I'm not sure why I got into that, but those late show tapings are cool because they're free.
Yeah,
and you see some really cool guests. So politically, I can't stand.
Hey Billy, roll the music.
That was something you didn't know about Timothy. Thanks, buddy.
Really? Am I done?
That's it. We have no time.
Whatever. You're the boss. Do you remember that episode where I said something about Tim? No, it didn't happen. You're an alternate universe because you don't remember correctly.
Well, Tim.
Yes, Greg.
We've come to the end of the show.
And I know that because I've come to the end of my beverage.
How was your tea today?
Way better than last week.
Was it?
Way better.
I keep going with coffee. I'm out of that tea now, though.
I love this tea. What do you call this flavor?
It's some kind of berry explosion.
Oh, I love berry explosions.
Yeah, I think it says may cause diarrhea on the label. We'll see later.
I'll message you later.
Your daughter actually sold me that tea.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
When she was doing a fundraiser.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
I remember it as being coffee, but...
No, it was tea.
Or maybe it was coffee in a different universe.
Maybe the universe was a different one. Could have been, actually. Me and you, and we just went like this, and now we're running on the same plane.
And then now we're not. And now we are.
I remember back in the day, I was much skinnier. In my old world, in my old suit, I was much skinnier in my old super suit.
In my dream last night.
Time Lord Tim.
Time Lord Tim.
Well, Tim, I'm going to have to bid you adieu.
And adieu to you too.
Well, thanks for watching today. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the share button, because that's how we get our show out to everybody else that isn't you. So do me a favor and Tim a favor and do that. Subscribe, like, and share.
And you can do that in any order you want.
Well,
subscribe, share,
share, subscribe, share, subscribe,
it
like,
can be
share,
done
like, subscribe.
in any order.
Doesn't matter which universe you're in.
Doesn't matter which universe. And if you could subscribe in both universes, we'd have double the viewers.
Double the viewers. We'd like to thank everybody that subscribed this week. And if you have subscribed, feel free to share it with your friends. And we would love to get into everybody's earballs.
And go Bombers.
Go Blue.
Blue. Cheers.
Just talking and dancing. I don't know if the song is really that songy, but yeah. Thanks for coming over tonight, Tim.
Oh, I'm hurt that nobody liked my Kermit.
Everybody loved your Kermit.
Like, what is it? 24 viewers of that?
Yeah.
It's such a good Kermit.
It was good.
Because nobody knows who Kermit the Frog is. And that makes me sad. Sad.
Thanks for watching the Greg and Tim Show podcast. See you again next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Sharing is caring.